So I want, on one of my comments, I put on a Real Talk with Annie because I saw her post about Ashanti being pregnant, and she kind of had that weird, goofy like emoji where it's saying like you're just kind of dumb, I guess, for whatever decision you're making. And I put in my comment on that under that post is I want women to list the reasons why getting married is a good thing. Like, what are the benefits to marriage that really benefits a woman in 2023 going into 2024? And to amp up what that list needs to be is think of these women as what Ashanti is, because you're making that weird face saying she's not getting married before getting pregnant with Nelly's kid. So we're going to talk about women who have money, have means, a woman with means who is well off. And I want you to tell me what's the benefit of her getting married versus what's a con of her getting married. And con, and I mean it in every sense of the word. These guys are whole con artists out here getting married so they can get the bag. So I went and found this list here. And I want to say it was a lot more detailed than I expected. Like, I really didn't never look at the details. I usually just heard that the women had to pay alimony or child support to the guy. And I think that angered me enough to just not even read the rest. So when I'm reading it, I'm like, wow, like, makes me even more mad. But let's jump in, because you might be triggered as well. I'm just like, wow. Like, this is exactly why I am not a huge advocate for marriage. I don't even like marriage, to be honest. I think it's unrealistic to expect you to be in love with this one person for the next 80 some years. I feel like people who had the long marriages, every blue moon, I think maybe people are finding the love of their life. But for the most part, I feel like most people is make believe. You are pretending you have a marriage that does not exist. You're online trying to convince everybody and mama that you have a good marriage, because you know it isn't. And people are eating it up and living vicariously through you because they know they don't want to do it themselves. Marriage is work. That's the only thing I can tell you. I can guarantee you is marriage is work, and your husband's going to embarrass you. So let's go ahead and get here to read the 7 celebrity women who had to pay alimony or child support. It should say and or child support, because some of them had to do both. And this was published September 18, 2023, so it's fairly recent. So it says, people have likened the ending of a marriage to something like a death. There is a grieving for the life you thought you would have, and in some cases, a grieving for the person who may have changed in the midst of a nasty divorce. If you're wealthy, in addition to hurt feelings, unmet expectations, and the splitting of property, there's a likelihood that you might lose a chunk of money as well. In our patriarchal society, men are often the moneymakers in heterosexual relationships, but increasingly, women are out earning their male partners. So let me click on this because they have it highlighted. And I actually want to go more into detail with that. So this is published May 5th, 2023. And it says, trading places. More wives are becoming breadwinners, study finds. So let's just see how many women are breadwinners out here, and why marriage does not benefit the woman if it ever did. Marriage benefited women back in like the 1800s or the 19th century, when you needed a man to own property, open a bank account, safety, etc. Like that, like the benefits were like necessary, and it was more like a necessity for your life, your livelihood. But there was also like cons that went with that too back then. Like you legally were your husband's property. Okay, he could sleep with you whenever he wanted to, and it was not considered rape. So he could beat you if he wanted, and it was not illegal for him to put hands and feet on you. So let's go ahead and read this really quickly, just to show and highlight how much things have changed over the years. We are now in the 21st century. So we're not in the 20th century, we're not in the 19th century, we're definitely not in the 18th century. So as everything else evolves, you would be a plum fool if you think marriage is not evolving too. Whether you like it or not, marriage is not a flex anymore for women, just automatically, if it's a flex at all. Because one thing I promise you, my motto to marriage is one thing a husband gonna do is embarrass you. That's all I know. That's the one only guarantee I know about marriage, is that you're gonna get cheated on and it's gonna be embarrassing. Because somehow it's just like, even if it never happens publicly, like somehow you're gonna find out, it's embarrassing. And especially if you have pictures online and people looking at your photos and your posts talking about how much you love your husband, and he's sleeping with someone else behind your back, or he's falling in love with some other woman. I can't. So they said a new Pew Research Center study shows married women are beginning to earn more than their husbands. According to the study, black wives in particular are significantly more likely to be the breadwinner in their marriages. Tired already. Like, no, I'm not going to be a breadwinner for anyone. So statistically, men are still considered the breadwinners in opposite sex marriages, but the number of women earning the same or more than their husbands has tripled in the past half decade. Okay? So this is how swiftly things and how recently it's been, like, where women are realizing, I don't want to be tied to this man by law. Like, maybe we could have a little ceremony in the backyard and talk about how much we love each other, but I'm not ready to put that in a contract and sign it and do all that, because people who've never been married don't realize how restricting marriage can be. Like, if y'all ain't intimate, you just going without. Because you can't be committing adultery. You can't go running off with other people. I mean, you can. But what's the point of getting married when you're going to be doing things like that aren't really supposed to be allowed to be happening during a marriage? And now putting you on a trajectory of divorce. Now he has grounds for divorce. He can get divorced. And then it's like now he can win extra stuff in the settlement because you're the one that committed adultery. So what is the purpose? It's not like we flipped it where men cannot own property. They are our property. We can beat on them. Like, it's not like we got the benefits that they had when they were marrying us and forcing us into having to marry them because we couldn't get jobs to support ourselves, etc., etc., etc. So we already know in the black community, black women are doing a damn thing. We have the highest number of college degrees out of almost every group. We are the highest rising entrepreneurs out of all groups. We are just making a lot of money, even in just a corporate workplace. And now we even have black women who are going outside their race to be married. They are considering their options, broadening their options outside of just black men. So by and large, black women are definitely having a bit of higher net worth, a much higher net worth than their black male partners. And when you have that big switch of money going from one side to the other, it's just so imbalanced. Like, when you have that happen, you really do need to look at what marriage is going to do for you. How is it going to be a benefit for you? Because it is not about love. It never has been. You can pretend all day that you marry your husband because it's love, blah, blah, blah. That love is not going to last. And he may not even love you like he think he do. And there's such a high rate of divorces in marriages, there's a higher rate of divorces, decreasing rates of marriage. So it's just like, what is it about you that you think you can go to the distance and you're not going to fail? What is it about your marriage that you think is going to be different? The odds are stacked against you, boo-boo. I'm already telling you now. So statistically, men are still considered the breadwinners, blah, blah, blah. 1 in 4 black wives out-earn their husbands. Additionally, black women are more likely than any other ethnic group to be in marriages. What? We're more likely than any other ethnic group to be in marriage. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand this. It says this, in turn, is to the financial benefit of black families, the study says. It creates a dynamic of egalitarian marriages where husbands and wives share wage earning and family responsibilities equally. I have to research that. I'm confused. So they're saying we are more likely than any other group to be in a marriage. And then when they're talking about this new power dynamic, because that's what money is power, you also have to consider the DV rates are through the roof. So I just feel like I can't believe I had to say all this, because we know that there's black femicide, that's a real thing. And it's awful. The rates are unbelievable. And I do work to help women, educate women about domestic violence. I just got out of a really bad DV relationship with my kid's father, and so I do videos and try to educate others about domestic violence. But yeah, it's not something you want to play with. Men are not going to typically be okay with their wives making more than them. If that dynamic's happening in the beginning, it may work for like a second, but eventually he's going to try to do things to put dominance over you. So maybe putting hands and feet on you like Darius Jackson and Keke Palmer, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. You're just going to see them acting out like children, except their stuff really hurts because they're grown men with muscles, and or they might cheat. You know, they're just going to do different things to humble you because they don't make more than you, so they're going to have to resort to other ways, and that is really just manifesting itself is in abuse. It's going to be through abuse that they're going to establish a dominance over you. They're using their manly attributes that are so they can be strong and in the survival to help, you know, advance their family, but they're going to be using it in another way because they're feeling emasculated because you make more money than them. And it's sad, but that's all that matters. You make more than them, they will become a whole other person. So, and it's not going to be good. So they said so they had this dynamic of egalitarian marriages where husbands and wives share wage earning and family responsibilities equally. Married black women, wives with higher education, and those with fewer children are most likely to be in egalitarian marriages. Wait, what's going on? Okay, is it those with fewer children? Okay. Where wives still fall short. The study found that even in cases where wives were making more, the responsibilities at home were not even. Women tend to pick up heavier workloads when it comes to household chores and caregiving. Husbands in these circumstances are able to focus more on leisure and work. Still, the household workload is more often divided, even in marriages where the woman is the breadwinner. Additionally, the study found that when it comes to a man and a woman's value in certain tasks, there are also imbalances. 7% of people in the survey say society values men's contributions at home more than those at work. When it comes to women, 31% say women's contributions at home are valued more than what they do at work. If a family is the breadwinner, a shift in an at-home dynamic should be made as well. It starts with a societal reimagining of a woman's duties. So yeah, you just got all that stuff you got to worry about and deal with. It's just too much. So they said so getting back to the original article, they're saying when their unions end, they're left with the bill. Here are 7 celebrities who had to pay alimony. I actually call it palimony for like this guys and or child support after the divorces. Just my funny play on words. But anyways, so singer Mary J. Blige, we all know, got divorced from her ex-husband, Martin Kendu Isaacs. I think he was her manager or something. And the judge ordered that she pay $30,000 a month in alimony, which was a far cry from the $130,000 Isaacs requested. He requested, y'all, $130,000 for his settlement, along with child support for his children from a whole nother relationship. These are not her children biologically. I don't know if she adopted them. What's happening here? Like, where did they do that at? Where I now am paying child support for kids I didn't even give birth to, and that we did not adopt together. These are literally children from a whole other woman's womb that you slept with, y'all were in a relationship with. It said previous relationships. It didn't say previous surrogate. And this is the kicker. It says Mary said openly after he lied, cheated on her, and spent so much of her money, she thought paying him alimony was whack. And it is. But since you shamed black woman into getting married and getting a husband because we all grew up in the Christian church, everyone's still holding on to these dated ass values. This mess is a mess. Like, in theory, it's cute, but honestly, if a child needs their parents to both be in the same house, like, you are better off cohabitating than getting married. It will change the dynamics of that relationship. I promise you, your dynamics will change overnight as soon as y'all say I do. That's what it's going to do. It's like guys are not talking about it. They make me sick. They kind of remind me of white supremacists, how they don't really talk about their power that they know they're wielding over you, but they know they have the power. They know it's time they put that ring on your finger and cinch the deal, clinch the deal. You're done. You're a god. They got you. They got you. They got you agreed to sign your life away because you're like, for better or for worse, till death do us part. And some guys are taking that shit literally. They are literally killing their wives instead of letting them leave them. So the next person was Toni Braxton. The details of Toni Braxton's 2013 divorce from her husband, Carrie Lewis, was unknown at the time. Was previously unknown before she went on to Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, our best friend, our best girlfriend. Toni Braxton revealed on the Red Table Talk that she had to pay alimony to her ex-husband. And she said at the time, this is when I was like, I have to read this article because I'm not ready for how real it is. I really did not expect these kind of comments to be in here. I thought they were just going to stick to giving us the numbers, like the figures, and saying this is how much they pay, so on and so forth. But nope, they are letting it all hang out. And it said that Toni Braxton said at the table, I think at the time, that she said men are the new bitches. Okay. Okay. No, I'm joking, but yeah, like, y'all don't see the forest for the trees. Like, y'all are so blinded by being expressed on marriage that you don't even see what's happening around you. Y'all don't even see it. And you're not going to see it until you're trapped. You're not going to see it until you're trapped in some loveless ass, cheating on her tail, babies outside the marriage guy. You're not going to see it. I'm not here to tell anybody to choose anything, but what I'm here to teach you is stop judging other black women, because we have enough people judging us. Like, I can see if you mean that person well, but do your research before you think that your reasoning is better than others and makes more sense than someone else's reasoning. Because to me personally, when you already have money and you know you can take care of this child very well, and the father's going to be in the picture, because I just don't see Nelly not being in the picture with Ashanti, for instance. You don't need to be married. You just don't. And you know why I hate marriage too? Because it's like people, it's like I need a piece of paper to force this man to like stay with me, and he still won't stay with you. He will still be for the streets, married or not. You know it. We know it. We see it all the time. Papa was a Rolling Stone. They used to have entire families of one street over, and the wife knew about it. The mistress knew about it. They raising their kids all like as though they're all one big happy family. Essentially, black males have been practicing polygamy since polygamy was polygamy. I mean, y'all are living in a polygamous situation and just don't even know it. So next we have Halle Berry. She was only married to Oliver Martinez, and it's crazy to me because this is a whole white guy. I'm like, okay, she makes more than you, Oliver. I don't know if I believe that. But she was only married to this dude 2 years. That's a nice payday. I mean, you just got to put up with a beautiful woman for 2 years and get paid out the ass for the rest of your life. So Halle Berry's 2-year marriage to Oliver Martinez has been over for 8 years, but the two did not reach an agreement in terms of their finances until August 2023. Their divorce was so messy and so nasty. It has lasted for like 8 years. I did not know they were still agreeing on terms and doing all this, like just up to this year. 8 years of legal battles because you want to get a divorce and not have him run off with all your stuff. But yeah, we all sit on YouTube like putting women down who say, you know what, forget that. I'm 43. I got my own. He has his own. We're established. Like, why am I marrying you? I just don't understand it. Maybe because I actually did the research and I know what marriage is. Like, I don't get it. Because everybody's acting like Nelly doesn't want to marry Ashanti. That's another thing. They had that low self-esteem and they bring it over here to everybody else. But people are acting like Ashanti had to settle. Like, she couldn't find any man to have a baby with and marry. You're right. And secondly, they're acting like it's him who doesn't want to get married. Because they can't fathom, these girlies cannot fathom that a woman does not want your stank, raggedy ass marriage. We don't want it. We don't want it. Once you are in a groove with your person, like, why mess that up with marriage? Because it's going to change. It always does. And some of us are like suffocated just thinking about it. Don't bring it over here. So Barry had to pay Martinez $8,000 in child support, even though they're sharing joint custody. Seriously? Y'all, my blood is like boiling. I'm like, you're sharing joint custody, but she just has to pay you like $8,000. Why? Why? And that's the thing with Halle Berry. She dates down all the time. That's her biggest mistake. Do not marry down. Do not. It's bad enough you're dating down. Don't make it permanent. Ugh. By the law. What was it? By the eyes of the law, by the court of the law, whatever you call it. Don't make this mess permanent, because it's always about property. So the time y'all sign that license and have the license to wed, and you go get married, like he now owns like half of everything you own, especially depending on what state you're in. Okay, so let me keep going. So the child support, they'll share joint custody of their 9-year-old son Maceo. In addition, Barry will pay Martinez 4.3% of any income she receives above $2 million. Are you kidding me? Y'all. Woo, Lord. I'm not built for this. I'm not built for this. So we got Candace Parker here. 8 years of marriage to her ex-husband, Sheldon Williams. Wait, hold on. They said Candace Parker, after 8 years of marriage, Candace Parker's ex-husband, Sheldon Williams, filed for divorce. These males out here, they filing now. Like, give me all your money. Just running them pockets. He filed for divorce, which is like never happens. Guys do not typically file for divorce. When they do, I'm promising you, they got another chick. They got a female somewhere that they're trying to run over to. So Sheldon filed for divorce from the WNBA player. In a divorce, Parker opted to pay Williams a lump sum of $400,000 so she wouldn't have to make monthly child support payments. The couple agreed to share custody of their daughter. Wow. All that money for one child. Next, we have Sherri Shepherd. This is just a sad story, because I think she went through this twice, just like Halle Berry. It's funny because they didn't even mention, but they should have mentioned Gabrielle Aubrey, because Halle Berry is also paying child support to him. So during her 13-year marriage? Ooh, I don't know what they write. Threen. I don't know what that's saying. During her years-long marriage to Lamar Sally, host and comedian Sherri Shepherd decided to have... Y'all, this is why hers is a mess. That just came down. I just remembered too. Hers is a mess because she has to pay child support or alimony to, like, I think at least 2 exes. I'm telling women honestly, stop getting married. Stop. If you're going to be wealthy, you know you're going to have coin and bag. Like Keke Palmer, I'm so grateful she did not marry Darius Jackson. I pray to God. Like, I'm so happy she did not marry him, and I pray to God she never does. I pray to God she never does. He is so vindictive. Ugh, I cannot imagine what he would put her through if they were married. Don't do it, Keke. Ooh, Lord, she going to be paying child support, alimony, everything. Hands and feet on her. I can't. I can't. I'm pray to God, because I feel like Keke hasn't gotten her lesson. I just pray to God that she did. So Sherri decided to have a second. This is Sherri's story. She decided to have a second child via surrogate, because she already had a son. 3 months later, the couple were divorcing. What? How do you decide to have a child via surrogate, and then be like 3 months later we're getting a divorce? Make that make sense. So the pregnancy was underway, and the child was set to enter the world. Wow, this is a mess. So even though Shepherd claimed that she had been duped into the signing of the surrogacy paperwork, pointing out that the child does not have any genetic ties to her, a judge determined that she was the legal mother. And yes, you are. Any child you have while you're in union, this is another L for married people, and why I am against marriage. Any child you have, I was in the military, so I saw this all the time. That's why I first learned about it, was through military. Looking at military marriages and seeing what they're doing, which is a hot mess. But if you're married to that person, any children that's born within the wedlock, you're both like legally and financially responsible for this child, even if it comes out later that child it's like you really made that child with like another person outside the marriage. People don't know that. People don't know that. So they sit on online, sounding like someone's grandma, talking about the same old stuff 20,000 years later. Like, we know too much. And like this article was saying, or the other one I read, I can't remember which one, but basically in recent decades, that power train is flipped. It's flipped on his ass. Like, when you start letting when they started to allow women to have more power and more rights, you don't think we were about to take that and run with it? Especially being a black woman? Like, as hard as we work? Oh, hell no. Like, yes, we're doing this. Like, we are doing so well financially. We are so successful in our own right. Like, that is automatically going to tell you, okay, if men had to do the most to get us to marry them by hoarding resources and keeping us from being able to do, like, anything, like work, have a bank account, own property on our own, etc., 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 like, what do you think is going to happen when that power that they had is gone and now it's balanced? Like, now we both can get married if we want to. We can work. We can make as much money as we want to make. We can own all the property we want to own, etc., etc., etc. So what do you think is going to happen? Me personally, I feel like some of these guys hate women and they are doing get back. They're doing get back. Like, they probably, oh my gosh, let me give you a full example. Well, my sister, she recently just got divorced. It was just granted. Okay, so let's start there. First of all, like, why do I need something to be granted for me to get your ass out my face? But he was abusive. And because they were married, they would tell him things like, well, he lives here too. That's your husband. So we can't do anything about him moving out. We can't tell him to leave his own house. Problem number one. He didn't have no job. Problem number two, he had no job. So his friends, his dusty ass friends that used to come to my sister's house because she was paying for everything and sit at the kitchen table, they would sit around the table and tell him what things that he is having a right to. So, like, alimony, half the house, etc., etc., because these are things they acquired while they were married. He really was not about to sign the documents that my sister had, the divorce documents, because he wanted half the house, like half the proceeds from the house. He wanted her to sell the house and get half the proceeds from the house. Meanwhile, even though my sister is still actively living in that house, like, he's living with his mom because he's a bum and he wasn't paying for shit anyway. And on top of that, the house is only in my sister's name. And even with that being said, I don't think it would have mattered. I think she talked to an attorney and they were like, he still is entitled to half the house because you purchased it as a married couple. That mess went on so long, going back and forth with his stupid self. And this is someone who was abusive to my sister physically, was put in jail because of his abuse. And you still, because of the no-fault divorce, women don't know what's going on here. But because of that no-fault divorce, he can still get half of everything. When you say it's a fault, now you're saying it's this person's fault that we're getting divorced, so he's not entitled to anything, any kind of divorce settlement. But males are making the rules, and they make the law. So they're saying, now it doesn't matter who did what to whom. You just gonna have to split stuff up because y'all are married, and these are things you acquired during your marriage, after you got married. That includes children. So even if you had a child outside the marriage, it's not really technically ever going to be outside the marriage because you're married. So that child is born in wedlock. While you were in wedlock with your partner, that's your half of your child or whatever. So now it becomes her child, her responsibility too, the wife. And vice versa. I saw it first happen where it was the man who was married and the woman cheated when he was deployed or something. And, women were doing that all the time. Males just cheat. But anyways, he was deployed or something. She cheated, lied and said it was his child because I guess he had just left for deployment, whatever. So I think he thought for some years that was his child, and then he found out it wasn't. So he's trying to go to court and not pay child support for this child, but he had to end up paying child support for 18 years for that child because they had that child when they were married. These are the conversations that people who've never been married don't understand. They're in fairy tale land. Fairy tale is over. time women started to be able to make our own money and our own rules, these males are out for blood. They are bitter. They are angry. They don't like that they don't have the power anymore to make us do whatever they want at their whim. They don't like that. They don't like that we make more money than them, that we have the ability to make more money than them. They don't like the freedom that we have now. They want things to be back the way it was in the 60s. My ex would always talk about, oh, back in the day, I remember when women would do this. They miss those days where we had to cook and clean and wait on their stinking ass. And they could cheat on us, beat on us, and we couldn't do anything about it. Yes. It's like white supremacy. They miss the slavery. They miss the slavery. They miss women being enslaved. You think I'm lying? You can look at the DV race and see how this goes. They hate women. So a lot of them see it as like get back. A lot of them feel like they have a plight. Like, I'm gonna show y'all a video I was watching the other day. These white guys were talking about being lonely and single, okay, because we all know that's a crisis right now. And in the comments, it was just like a woe is me moment. Like, let me go get my violin because they're in here. White men, like literally the whole world has been designed for you to win. And you're sitting here in the comment section about how hopeless things feel for you, complaining about your life, how bad it is, when a lot of times it's some simple stuff they did. But one thing men are not going to do is have some accountability, okay? So this is something that they're doing to mess up their lives, and they just having this pity party, this self-pity party. I could barely stand it to be around them for 2 seconds, like to be on that channel. I'm like, I'm a black woman, and I don't even do this. Like, what are you doing? I'm way at the bottom of the stupid totem pole of racism. You're at the top, and you're crying me a river. It was weird. It was really weird. So yeah, people need to do their research. Stop just running your mouth to your grandma and your great grandma and mom and your aunts. And no, get on Google. Look at your rights that you will have and not have if you ever think about getting married. See what rights you have. Like, I was looking into marrying this one guy. He ended up being a whole con artist. That's a whole nother story for another day. But before I was going to marry him, I already knew. Prenup first and foremost. That prenup's happening, honey. And then there was like some other things I was looking into as well. But I really am about to become a whole attorney and research the rights of that state. Because depending on which state you get married, like if we got our license in Virginia, we would have to get married in Virginia. Like, there's like all these laws. And marriage laws change from state to state. So don't mess around and get messed up. Like, you thinking in your state one thing applies, but then when you go get married in Florida, it's something completely different. So yeah, just pay attention to that. So even though Shepard, so this is what I think happened with Shepard. I hate to really play this out like this, but I think he was sleeping with the surrogate woman. And I think they came up with an idea, like, I got an idea, like, why don't I talk my wife into having a baby via surrogacy? And then when I get you pregnant, we can act like we did it via surrogacy and get her to pay for it. Like, so once you get pregnant, I'm going to divorce her, give her divorce papers, and want to divorce her all of a sudden. Because they didn't even say who asked for the divorce. They just said 3 months later the couple was divorcing. Who asked for it? Most likely the husband. Or it could be Sherry because she found out he was cheating. That's neither here nor there. So I feel like he came up with this scheme. Maybe the surrogate woman did too, because women are very smart. So I'm not sure he would be able to be smart enough to pull this off by himself. But guys are also very trifling and sneaky and manipulative and conniving. So I can give him credit. And then I'm like, I can see them working together so they can get Sherry's money to pay for everything, to pay for this child for 18 years. And that's what she's doing. So he acted like, oh, I want to have a baby with you. He probably knew she couldn't have no more kids. So he's like, he's going to sit here and suddenly be tomorrow. Well, let's do a surrogate, like, whatever. How are you just coming up with stuff out of nowhere? Like, you just somehow know this is what we're going to be doing. Men don't, like, what guy's looking into surrogacy? I don't know, but none of them. But anyway, so I think he talked her into signing the paperwork. And then by the time he had that contract in hand, it's in black and white. He got that surrogate contract. The girl got pregnant because he slept with her. And then I think he gave Sherry divorce papers like 3 months later. Because I don't know how you can go from we're looking into getting a surrogate so we can have a baby together to 3 months later, the world is still pregnant. Like, she's pregnant and y'all are divorcing? That doesn't sound right. So they saw, even though they were divorcing, the pregnancy was underway and the child was set to enter the world. Even though Shepard claimed that she had been duped, pointing out that the child doesn't even have any genetic ties to her. And that's what's even worse. I'm like, oh my God, just how you know he slept with that other woman. Because typically when you do a surrogacy situation, I thought you would use your own egg at least. And he would fertilize that egg, and then you just put your fertilized egg with your husband's sperm into another woman to carry the baby. So it should still be your baby and his baby, the wife's baby and the husband's baby, but you're just basically kind of using the healthy woman. Maybe you just don't want to have kids, you don't want to mess up your body, you're a actress and you're like, I don't want to gain weight, or I don't know, whatever your reasons. You just aren't going to use your body. Maybe you can't use your body. Maybe you don't want to use your body because you don't want to get the stretch marks and a big ass or whatever your issues are. Who cares, right? Women are free to have choice, and I'm all. That's what my channel is going to be about. This all. I love it. I love it. I'm a free spirit. I love women having choice. Finally, in this world, we're getting more and more rights by the minute, and it's beautiful to watch. And I pray that every woman all over the globe gets to enjoy this soon, because being oppressed is not it. So yeah, like the child don't even got her egg, nothing. I'm like, oh hell no. I'm sorry. I think he impregnated this woman himself. I think they were talking already. I feel like I saw a movie like this on Lifetime. But let me keep going, because I want to not have this video be too long. So the judge just says she's a legal mom because legally she's married to him. Okay, so certain people aren't having these conversations about marriage, and you're acting naive, and you're not understanding why some of these women are like, I'm good. I'm not doing that marriage thing, because they're smart. If you have money as a woman, it does not, I'm going to just put it clearly for you to understand. If you have money and means as a woman, you got property, you got assets, you got money in the bank, it does not benefit you to marry anyone. It just doesn't. Especially if you're making more than him. I don't even care if you aren't. Like, guys will cheat and do all this crazy. Like, why? You know there's a very high chance you're going to get a divorce. And he's going to probably run off with some of your money for whatever conniving, manipulative reason he comes up with, even though he's the one that cheated. But now it's a no-fault divorce state, which I'm sure he'll know that before you do, because guys are always doing some crazy shit like Jeezy, and he gonna slide them papers over to you. Whenever a guy is asking for a divorce, one, they already got somebody in the wings. They already got somebody waiting for them, because guys, what they're not gonna do is be single. Two, I would be looking at that dude very closely, because I'm like, you had this planned out. You had this planned out, because men do not even initiate divorce. And then for you to already have the paperwork like ready to slide over to me out of nowhere, like where I'm at the point where I'm being blindsided. What is going on? Like, no. And I'm telling you right now, y'all, I don't know about other guys, but black guys would be quick to pull this shit. They are like females. They are trifling, okay? They will be quick to pull some shit like Jeezy did. That is classic black, because they're almost resting in their femininity. So they are very feminine the way they move. And that is some underhanded, deceptive shit. And women would probably do that more because we're being abused. We're kind of like, okay, let me get all my ducks in a row, get the kids, get out and move into another house, and then mail him the paperwork, or have it served to him by the sheriff or something. Guys should not be sneaking around. Like, that's weird. It's giving manipulative. Like, it's giving you had a whole plan. This is a whole scheme and a whole con that you had planned from the jump. Because this really makes me look at Jeezy and Jeannie Mai's entire marriage in a whole nother way. Like, what is really happening here? I never really paid much attention to them to begin with, because I'm just like, oh, here we go. Him marrying his preference. She doesn't like black women. Now they about to have a blazing baby. And she was just so over the top. Like, everywhere I look, you guys see them smiling all big in each other's faces. And I'm going to tell you right now, like, Jeezy never looked like he was happy with her. he looked like he was in pain. Like his every time I saw him, his face just looked like he was about to take a shit. Like I'm just like, he does not look happy with her. And she would be biggest smile, biggest day, but she's from California, so fake, fake, fake. You know, it's like y'all know how to smile for the camera, okay? It's California and Hollywood. Hello. So I don't know, just something about that marriage that I'm like, I want to know, like, why did he really do it? I'm nosy, like I'm just like, because I'm learning from this. You know what I'm saying? I like to analyze people. That's why I like watching true crime, because I like to analyze people. And I feel like he must have did it for either his image. Some people are like, well, he just wanted like a blazing baby. But I'm like, you couldn't find somebody to sleep with you? You're Jeezy. We already press on black guys when they have nothing. I mean, he got a couple of coins, so I'm sure he's not going to struggle to find an Asian woman to sleep with him. I don't think he would have had to marry anyone. The marriage thing, I think, is attached to like his book or something. I really do feel like he just used it for image reasons. But black guys don't like to be married. So he's like, I mean, they were together 2 seconds and he's sliding the paperwork over to her. Like, it's just like, man. And people just dragging her, they making fun of her. She do look like a whole fool, especially because she's a big mouth and all them comments she made. So I don't see the flex here. Like, where was the flex? She was married to Jeezy. Then on top of that, nobody wants Jeezy. Like, anybody with any kind of sense that has any kind of success, it's not like, oh, let me go be with Jeezy and make that my husband. Like, no, nobody says that. Who's saying that? Like, I don't even... Jeezy was engaged before he even got with Jeannie Mai and literally left his fiance and baby. Because I think she was pregnant by him too. He just left them high and dry and got with Jeannie Mai, marrying her all over the place online, like smiling in the camera. Just no shame whatsoever that you broke it off with this other woman, like making her look like a whole fool. Like, women, take your power back. This is an empowerment channel. Take your power back. Stop giving your power to guys. If you marry a guy, you better have a game plan. You better have an idea. Sometimes you're going to set it up before you even get married. Have a game plan. That segues me into don't ever dairy. I should just call it dairy. Don't date, don't marry down. Don't date, marry down. Do not do it. Okay, let me start over. Don't date, marry, or procreate down. Don't date, marry, or procreate down. And you're probably like, what does procreate down mean? Don't have a baby with somebody who's broke. Okay, so yeah. Ashanti could have had a baby with anybody, but she had a baby with Nelly. Nelly got a few coins. Okay, so I'm okay with this. Keke Palmer had a baby with Darius Jackson. I don't know what Darius Jackson's worth is. Does he have money? I don't even know, because I don't know who he is. We know who Nelly is. At least we know who Nelly is, and we know he got some kind of success. He don't got a bunch of scandal. He's somewhat successful. I don't know what he's worth, because I don't really follow celebrities like that, but I'm pretty sure he's worth quite a bit. Ashanti is good. She's worth quite a bit on her own. And yeah, just if you're going to have a child and you don't want to be married, at least make sure that dude has I'm gonna phrase this again, because if you want to have a baby and you're okay with not being married, I'm happy for you, because not everybody's comfortable with marriage. I'm not comfortable with marriage. I have seen too much marriages go wrong. I don't like marriage. I never did. The only reason why I ever would get married, just like Jada Pinkett Smith, I feel is more because of social shaming. Like, my family shamed me into marriage. So when you choose a man who's like, you know he's going to be there. She's known him for 20-something years. She know he ain't going nowhere. You know he's going to be there. You know he wants children with you. Okay, let's try to discern and figure out those things first before you get pregnant with him. Do not have a baby with somebody who don't want kids with you. And you can say, oh, well, he could leave. She should get married, because he could. Married men leave too. Okay, married men leave too. And then before you try to fix your face and be like, oh, you're better. No, my biological father, the sperm donor, abandoned my mom and me and my sister. That was literally my first crash course into what black males do. Like, literally left his whole wife behind acted like his daughters with that wife did not exist because my mother left him because he was abusive. It's just all wrong. He wasn't working. He was abusive. Then when she divorced him, what kids? He didn't have kids anymore, apparently. Left us to die. Wasn't protected my whole time growing up as a little girl. Because where's my father? He's a deadbeat. He's gone. So I don't want to hear that somebody should be getting married first. You don't know my story. You don't know Ashanti's story. You don't know anybody's story but your own. So stay in your business. Stay in your lane. As long as that baby's going to be healthy and taken care of, that's all that matters. And I'm pretty sure that baby going to be very well taken care of. Ashanti has no other kids. She waited for the time that was right for her. That baby's going to be loved. Nelly seems like he's a good guy. I actually like Midwest men are good men. My ex-husband is a Midwestern guy. Stand-up men. I haven't met one yet that I was like, ugh, he's the worst. No. Pretty good guys for the most part. Their culture, I don't know if it's something about how they're raised out there, but they tend to be really good men. Good fathers, good husbands, all that shit. Even just a good person on principle. Just a good person. Even if you're not a father or whatever. They stand by what they stand by, what they're supposed to stand by. So I'm happy for her. So yeah, you just have to, I feel like black women need to just support black women. Like, yes, I understand we want the best for each other, but what she's doing to me might be the best for her. Maybe she wanted a child with somebody she knew. She knew who's going to be there. She knows who he is. It's not a stranger, thankfully. Like some random person who can do crazy stuff because you just came out of nowhere. Not to say that people you've known a long time ain't going to do crazy stuff either, but you got to pick and choose. Some people be like, oh, you known him all this time and you finally had a baby. Maybe because she want to have a baby when she want to have a baby. My gosh. These people act like women just don't have no agency, no autonomy, we have no freedom to make choices. Apparently we are in the 1900s again. They acted like people put a gun in Ashanti's head and made her get pregnant by Nelly. Like, this woman is a grown-ass woman and she's 43. She's older than most of the women that are talking about her. She knows what she's doing. Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm so sick of this subject. Let me finish this. Okay, so Sherry Shepherd was ordered to pay $4,100 in monthly child support. And the figure will increase when the child turns 13. This is not her first time down the road. I'm glad they threw that in there too. She was also ordered to pay child support to her first husband, Jeff Tarpley. Why did you get remarried, Sherry? Why? Oh, because people are going to shame you if you don't. You're not going to have value until you're somebody's wife. Miss me with it. The next woman is Mel B. Do we see a pattern here? All these women are black. That's another thing I'm telling you. Black women are overwhelmingly going to be making more than the black males because of racism, etc., whatever. But black males can do better. They're just choosing not to. That's their culture. So when Melanie B got divorced from her husband, Stephen Belafonte, after 10 years of marriage, they shared a daughter together. She filed for divorce from him in 2020. Oh wow, that's recent, like 2020. Amid claims of domestic violence. Brown said that she actually feared Belafonte might take her life, but even with that being said, the judge still made her pay his stupid self $40,000 a month in alimony, in addition to $140,000 in legal fees. Yeah, this is awful. This is awful. Yeah, they have a whole article. Mel B ordered to pay her ex $40,000 per month in temporary spousal support despite her shocking abuse claims. That is horrible. That's horrible. The way I would slap his face off. Like, that is awful. Wow. So she also said, Melanie B also said that she claimed that Belafonte hired a German exchange student, Lorraine Gillis, to be their nanny and pitted the two women against each other. Brown claimed the nanny's relationship with Belafonte, her husband, became sexual that he impregnated her before demanding an abortion. Brown was also granted a restraining order against Giles in April, but Giles in turn sued Brown for defamation, claiming her pregnancy was a result of a one-night stand. Brown returned to work on AGT in late April and has found support in her co-stars. We all go through tough times, and we need people around us who care and matter and are there and are strong for us. And we're all here for her, said Howie Mandel. That's awful. I don't put it past him. I do not put it past him. Let me go here. Then we have our girl Janet Jackson. She walked away from hundreds of millions of dollars richer from her third. So Janet Jackson did it right. She married up, which meant a man of no color. So she walked away with hundreds of millions of dollars from her third husband. When was she married 2 other times, y'all? I cannot with Janet Jackson. They are so secretive, the Jackson family. So she left this guy. So she got the bag when she left the last husband, but it wasn't the case with Renee Elizondo. That's why I told you all, if you are going to marry, make sure you marry up. Don't even marry equally yoked. That's cutting it too close. Make sure he has significantly more money than you, so when you leave, you can get paid. Okay, because they're gonna have to pay you. They're gonna have to pay you just because your quality of life improved. So when you get a divorce, he has to pay you, because it's like, I got used to this quality of life and now I cannot go under this quality of life now. So make sure he has some coins. Do not marry equally yoked nothing. Do not 50-50 nothing, because they're going to screw up the marriage, and then you're going to be one paying him. It's too close for comfort. And definitely do not be marrying down. Do not support a grown ass, dusty, rusty ass dude. Don't do it, because to me, when you're making more than your husband, it's like you're basically paying to have a husband. It spells desperate to me. It spells that I am so desperate to have wife be my name, have that title, that I'm literally willing to pay a musty bum to be on my couch just so I can say I have a husband. Anyone can be married. Literally anybody can be married. I don't know why black women be like it's so hard to get a ring. It's really not. It's not. It is not. Especially if you got a couple dollars. Like, black guys love resting their femininity. Do not have some money and think that you don't have options. Like, you do. The two were married secretly for 9 years before Elizondo filed for divorce in 2000. Girl, child, I did not know this. They had a prenuptial agreement, but Renee claimed he was made to sign under duress. I told you. They know. They be knowing how to play the game, and they don't have any shame either. They should teach you online. When they talk about it, so they talk about it, they should be embarrassed, and they're not. They are embarrassing to us. But they for some reason are not embarrassed, even though everyone's looking at them like, you look like a complete fool. So, as a result, this idiot, Elizondo, was granted $10 million from their singer, plus legal fees. Let me see. Okay, hold on, sorry. I clicked out of the article by accident. Oh, was that the last one? Ooh, that went by fast. Be smart, women. Be smart. Be very smart. Do not, if you're going to get married, marry up always. Marry way up. Like, make sure he has like a lot of money, because usually it's going to be the male who acts crazy, and it's worse that I got to pay you. Like, I'm not really trying to pay a grown man anything, because you're a grown man, and the whole world's been set aside for you to win more than me. So it's not that I even want to pay you to begin with, but then you cheated on me and I have to pay you. That's super awkward. So then you also have J-Lo and Chris Judd. She ended up paying him $14 million, even though she filed from divorce. She filed for divorce from him after less than a year of being married. That's a nice way to make $14 million. Let me just say that much. Can I just give you a less than a year of work and make $14 million? Ted Danson, Casey Coates, Anna Faris. Anna Faris ended up having to pay her. She's considered the breadwinner. So when she got a divorce, in order for her husband to keep up his new, the lifestyle that he became accustomed to, she had to pay him $900,000 in spousal support, because his career was not doing as well as hers when they got divorced. She was the breadwinner. I can't. Anyways, Roseanne Barr, Tom Arnold. Nope, not them. Britney Spears and Kevin Federline. And she's about to pay again to this other guy she just married. Make it make sense. They don't even have any kids together. You're literally just marrying people just to like give them your money. That's what I'm gonna say here. Like y'all know this is the taboo channel. This is unpopular opinion channel. Like, we're gonna say things because it's the truth. We're not gonna stay quiet because no one says it. Nope. We're gonna call it like it is. We don't have time for this. She is literally paying people to marry her. Like, you could have just hung out with that dude. They weren't even married that long. This like the next husband she has, she was single all that time. Her family was running her, controlling her conservatorship. She was being controlled, like, financially, I guess, from her family or whatever. She finally gets free, and then you run and get a master. Then a year or two later, now you're divorcing him. He about to get paid. You were already paying Kevin Federline. I just cannot. I want to like Britney Spears, but it's like she's a blonde white woman. It's like, what is going on here? Just ditzy as they come. Like, ugh. I just feel bad for her, I think, to some degree, because I feel like she gets taken advantage of a lot. I feel like she's gullible. Something's off with her, and she just gets taken advantage of. I mean to say taken advantage of, not taken care of. No. But I mean, I wanted to feel sorry for her, but then she did that thing to Shar Jackson, and I'm like, but she's black, so I got to kind of lean with Shar. Sorry, honey. And then the fact the way she did Shar was pregnant, and you just basically stole her man from her. So, yeah. Anyways, I guess this is karma. So Britney was required to pay Federline $40,000 a month in child support. And it even was rumored that Federline didn't want to marry his new girlfriend because the spousal support would end. But he did eventually get married in 2013. Oh, okay. She was paying $40,000 to him a month for alimony and child support. So that was in addition to the child support, which has an undisclosed amount. I don't see it here. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, a lot of women coming out the pockets. Can't be me. Okay, we got Madame Noir. I feel like black women got more because we're more likely to be with God. We're always told to date down. I'm not doing it. I never did. I'm not about to start. And we're told mainly to date down because black males don't tend to have success financially like they should. That's their problem. Like that. That is not my problem. Like, you take your ass to college and do something with yourself. I'm not suffering because it's already enough work to be married to them. Like, no. I don't do struggle, and I don't like struggle, so I'm not signing up for struggle. What? Okay, let me see if I can go in here really quickly. So she said, okay, and she was paying $20,000 to Kevin Federline a month for child support. So altogether, she was paying him $60,000 a month. Oh my gosh. Then they say he attempted to obtain an increase in that support ruling in 2018, and she agreed to pay more in a confidential agreement. Oh my goodness. Wow. So she had a meltdown, like a breakdown in 2007. She filed for divorce from him, I guess they're saying, in 2006, and then she had a meltdown in 2007. He was awarded the custody of the children because of her meltdown or breakdown or whatever. And then she, but it's crazy because, like, I'm having a breakdown, I still have to pay you. Like, you're that destitute, you're that broke. I cannot do this. Women are literally buying husbands. That's what we're doing. Just call him mail order husband because you are basically buying your husband. They said Kendu asked for $130,000 per month to fund his lifestyle once the divorce is finalized. No comment. I'm not going to say what I want to say. Candace Parker. Okay. Yeah, we already got Halle Berry. Madonna. Okay, so Madonna settled her divorce for roughly $75 million to the director. The settlement also included their country home in Western England and a pub they co-owned. That's actually not that bad, given that it's Madonna. Like, she's got to be worth like billions. Okay, so Mel B. Yeah, I didn't even know she was that big to be. Okay, she's paying him $5,000 a month. How did I just say, like, geez Louise? As high as the divorce rate is, and y'all still pushing marriage on people. If you're gonna get married, make sure to have a plan. That's all I'm gonna say. Have a plan. And when I say that, I mean with money. Like, have a plan with finances. Like, protect your money. Okay, so they have the same celebrities. So let me know what you all think about everything. Ashanti getting pregnant and not being married, which to me, I'm just like, okay, what's the big deal? I'm just gonna really need to know what is the benefit of marriage at this point, besides like social status. And maybe because black women influence everyone. We are the leaders of influence. So if you can make being a single mother or being in a long forever in a day relationship with somebody and make it look desirable, it would be black women. I just don't I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. I feel like you could be sexy and happily be together forever. And my dream was always to be like with the man of my dreams, and we are so in love that we don't even need the courts to tell us that we have to stay together. We're together because we just love each other that deeply. That was always like my dream. Like, maybe I'm being super naive now or living in some fairy tale, but my dream would be that we just be together forever without all that court legal crap. And he would make significantly more than me and be worth way more than me. And he would leave me something, in a will, like upon his death or whatever, because he's definitely going to probably be older than me. And just, make sure I'm still taken care of. Right, once he dies, he would leave something to me in a will. But marriage, no, I don't need to. I'm like, why do I need to get married? Especially at my age now. I mean, I've already been married. I already have my kids. Like, I just don't get it. And I'm raising my children with their fathers. We're co-parenting. So they already have their fathers. I'm not looking for a father figure or any of that. So what am I doing? And another reason why you don't want to get married if you already have kids, and it's like, you've already been there, done that. Like, because then when you get divorced, it's like now he might be fighting for assets that were supposed to go to your children. And it's like, no. I didn't work hard to give a grown man anything I've worked for. Y'all can call me crazy if you want to, but the way I think has not hurt me yet. Men are selfish. It's okay for you to be selfish too. Especially if you worked hard for something. Men provide, not women. So why am I giving you anything I've worked for? You can go work hard and get your own stuff. So anyways, so make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can receive updates and an alert when I upload new videos, all my new videos. And I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye.